Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Next on HIKI NŌ, stories from across the island chain.
I believe that home is where the heart is, and it doesn't look the same for everybody. It's different, and it's okay.
A teacher writes a book about her abusive relationships and her journey towards healing.
Plus, teens and senior citizens are bridging the generation gap through technology.
Meet a high school student who does not let his type 1 diabetes slow him down.
And see how tattoos are becoming more popular with both men and women.
Meet a 101-year-old Kauai man and hear his secrets to a long life.
And visit Kula Country Farms in upcountry Maui.
All on this episode of HIKI NŌ, coming to you from Sacred Hearts Academy in Honolulu, Oahu, home of the Lancers.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI NŌ.
Can do!
Aloha and welcome to Sacred Hearts Academy on Oahu. In 1909, Bishop Libert Bonems realized the need for a Catholic secondary school for the developmental and educational needs of young women. 10 sisters from the Sacred Hearts Convent ran the newly built academy, and the school accepted its first 75 students. 105 years later, the school provides over 1,000 female students a year with college preparatory education.
Our first story takes place on Oahu, where a teacher at Waianae Intermediate School has written a book about her struggles with abusive relationships.
I don't have everyone's attention. I need everyone looking up here. Thank you.
Being a teacher for middle school students can be a challenging job. For Momi Robins-Makaila, this is home. Waianae Intermediate, her alma mater.
I believe that home is where the heart is, and it doesn't look the same for everybody. It's different for everyone, so, and it's okay.
Now I'm going to give you a very big hint.
Momi is always in control of her environment.
And then I want 1 and 2 second section.
But that wasn't always the case when she was growing up.
My mom and dad had a tumultuous relationship. It was dysfunctional, and there was some physical abuse and a lot of verbal abuse.
For 18 years, this abuse was a part of everyday life.
Women who have grown up in an abusive household or family or experienced some sort of trauma themselves have a greater risk of entering into abusive relationship themselves when they get older.
And that was the case with Momi. As a mother of 3, she found herself living in a nightmare of abuse with her now ex-husband.
It extremely negatively impacted my family.
So much that she didn't want to talk about it. Instead, she wrote a book called Candy Canes and Coke to chronicle her journey from abuse to healing.
I wrote the first book because, my son began using drugs, and, I wrote the book as a way to figure it out because I didn't have a clue in terms of what was happening to our family and why. I hurt my son, and I found out, about the drug use, and I could not cope.
With time, Momi has come to understand the ever-important question behind her situation. Why?
I think that we were young, and I think that we didn't have the right communication skills, nor did we have the right coping skills. And what happens when that is the case is, feelings get hurt over and over and over again.
Good job, Rusty! Good job! Go, follow! Go, Mia!
It's a much more positive outlook now that she's in full control of her environment. She's remarried, has a stronger faith in God, and has finally found the home she's dreamed of.
I'm beginning to realize that, home isn't where you park your car or where you cook your dinners. Home is sorry. The home is where you feel like you're content, like where you have peace.
Peace has helped her continue her path to a happier life. This is Janisha Lee Wyatt from Waianae Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
We are back in Kaimuki on the campus of Sacred Hearts Academy on the island of Oahu. To my right and down the stairs is the newly renovated Lancer Learning Center, a resource for all students and teachers to conduct research or to simply find a good book. New additions include the collaboration room, the study bar area, the green room for media studies, and Apple computers. The Learning Center has been following the school's lead on going green and now offers over 7,000 ebooks. Our next story takes us to Waimea on Hawaii Island, where students from Hawaii Preparatory Academy are teaching senior citizens how to use their smartphones and computers.
Teen Tech is a project that bridges the gap between the older and younger generation through technology. The principle of it is simple. Teens who often understand technology very well teach elders how to use it.
So it really became a really interesting idea that I approached another mother about it, and her son was brilliant also in technology. And we formed this group.
The teens taught the elders how to change settings on smartphones and computers. They also taught them how to use basic, local, and web-based applications.
Right, she's taught me how to use my Android phone, the photograph application.
And she showed me some tricks about how to use some of the settings in a scroll down menu to get at some of the settings more easily than the kludgy way I had been doing.
He taught me how to download a YouTube. It was so helpful, it was beyond helpful. And he showed me just enough, not too much, and then he let me do it. He said what time it was, not how the watch was made. And that's important when you're teaching somebody of our age group, to just answer exactly what we're trying to figure out and show us, and then let us do it.
And they actually tried to learn, and the questions that they asked weren't unnecessary. They were genuinely trying to learn about the technology.
It's been wonderful in the way of bringing the youth together, and both youth in the parish and youth in the wider community, and the opportunity for a service project.
It looks great on the teens' resumes. I think everybody looks forward to coming. They've met a group of people that have similar interests and like to do similar things. So it's been really great in that regard too.
The results of this project were beneficial to both seniors and teens. Many seniors got to learn the interface of modern tech for free. Similar classes can cost an upward of $80 per hour, making them inaccessible to many. Meanwhile, teens got the opportunity to do community service and share their skills with the older generation. This is Brandon Melton, coming from Hawaii Preparatory Academy for HIKI NŌ.
We are back at Sacred Hearts Academy in the middle of Kaimuki on the island of Oahu, where athletics play an important role in student life. I am standing in the middle of our gymnasium. Our gym renovation is currently underway. Students can look forward to new maple floors, lighting, ventilation, training, and weight rooms. Currently, students can participate in 23 different sports, including basketball, air riflery, and kayaking. Our school nickname, Lancers, is associated with Joan of Arc, a strong historical woman whom we aspire to be like. Our next story takes us to Kapolei High School on Oahu, where a student living with type 1 diabetes does not let the disease slow him down.
You don't want to be too controlling over the bike. You don't want the bike to be too controlling over you. You just want to let it happen. Because when you let it happen, it just feels smoother, it feels better, you feel like you're higher. Everything just feels more dialed. Yeah, it's just an amazing feeling. I love it.
Like any other teenager, Castle Deering, a junior at Kapolei High School, likes to ride his BMX bike and go to the skate park after school.
The more you do a trick, the better you do it, the faster it goes, the more you'll do it. It's just a fun sport to do.
Every sport comes with challenges. For Castle, one of those challenges is having diabetes.
If you have diabetes as a young kid, it's kind of hard. But the key thing is just to keep up with it, make sure your sugars are leveled, stay active. The more active you are, the easier it is to take care of your sugars.
Type 1 diabetes is a condition in which the body does not produce enough insulin, a hormone that is needed to convert sugar, starches, and other food into energy. Insulin therapy is used to manage the diabetes. Castle has agreed to show us his insulin kit.
This is my monitor, my test strips, my needles, and my finger prick.
So how many shots do you have to take a day?
I take 4 shots a day.
4 shots?
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and before I go to sleep.
Wow, that is a lot.
I try not to let it hold me down. It's hard sometimes with diabetes because it gets you dehydrated faster than usual. But overall, there's not that much limitations. It's just a matter of fact of you going for it.
Castle refuses to let his situation keep him grounded. Instead, he continues to ride high. I'm Gabrielle Andaya for Kapolei High School and HIKI NŌ.
HIKI NŌ is now on Instagram. For show updates and a peek behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram at HIKI NŌ Can Do.
We are back on the island of Oahu in Kaimuki at Sacred Hearts Academy. Girls Who Code is a club that introduces girls to computer programming at an early age in the hopes of allowing more women to enter technological fields. Students are working with Scratch, JavaScript, and HTML. The activities include graphics gaming, artificial intelligence, mobile apps, and cryptography. We now take you to the windward side of Oahu, where students from King Intermediate School explore the growing popularity of tattoos among both men and women.
When Marianne Leal greets you in this dental office, you won't notice anything out of the ordinary, but a second glance may reveal one of her true passions. Marianne Leal has a love for tattoos. Little did she know that a college anthropology project in which she interviewed a tattoo artist would begin her journey of becoming tattooed.
I think that's what got me interested in tattoos at first. I didn't have one back then, but it started off, I guess, with that interest, from meeting someone who does it.
A 2012 Harris poll reveals that 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. have a tattoo, and women are more likely to have a tattoo than men. Although tattoos have grown in popularity, Marianne needed to be sure her tattoos would be accepted by her employers.
I guess my employers, all of my employers that I worked for, did not mind at all. I think the only time that my employer actually said something to me was a few years ago when I had these done. And he was really cool with me. We had a good bond with each other, and all he said to me was, have some common sense. Why do you put it on your head, And I told him, well, that's where I want it to be, and all he could do, again, is accept it. And when I started working where I work now, with Dr. Tajima, I was covered up with tattoos. I had more than I ever did before. And I asked him during my interview, do my tattoos bother you? I had to make that a point because there are times where I just can't hide it. So I asked him, do you have a problem with it? And he said no.
For many people, tattoos are very personal, and Marianne's are no different.
I would say the tattoo that has the most meaning to me, happiness. This is the kanji for happiness. I feel very happy and blessed to have my kids and my life, this is one of the second tattoo that I got. It represents happiness. My daughter's name here, Kayla, means a lot to me, and my son. It's on my chest. Everything else I chose just because I love, the things that I love. Roses, koi represents my son. I think all my tattoos have some type of meaning to it. I would like to have a portrait of my son and my daughter. I want to have a portrait done on my uncle who had passed away about 14 years ago, just in remembrance, just a memory. I'm not done yet. I do want to have more tattoos.
So the next time you see someone with tattoos, you can be sure there's a good story behind them. This is Aishi Yamamoto from King Intermediate School for HIKI NŌ.
We are back at Sacred Hearts Academy in Kamehameha on the island of Oahu at the engineering program. Students learn mechanical, electrical, environmental, civil, computer, and bioengineering. It is a hands-on experience where students learn from their mistakes and create another approach to fix their designs. About 48% of our graduating seniors seek majors in math, science, technology, and engineering. Our next story takes us to Kauai, where students from Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School meet a 101-year-old man who shares with us his secrets to a long life.
Have you ever met someone who was born over a century ago? Well, meet Charles Kauai Chung Fu, or more commonly known as Papa Fu.
I was born in Waialua, Kauai. I was born 1913.
1913. Let's see, how old does that make Papa Fu today?
101.
With years of experience, what is the key to long life according to Papa Fu?
Keep walking, I suppose, keep walking. I walk in the ranch. Early in the morning, I milk cows. I milked out all 6, 8, 12 cows. There were four of us, cowboys. I worked for the Princeville Plantation on a ranch, and then I worked for the county, and then I worked for the CCC company. That's a government. We work from different part of the island. We planted trees all along in Kalaheo Valley.
With a resume as long as his lineage, Papa Fu worked up until he was 100 years for his family restaurant and mining salt at salt ponds.
In the winter time, it's flooded. It's flooded, and we have to wait till the summer comes, and then when it's dry, then we start work on the salt pans, prepare the ground, and make the beds.
Others have their opinion about what they think Papa Fu's secret to long life is.
What do I think? His good attitude of life.
A lot has to do with just being around family. I think a lot of it is just being happy. He doesn't seem too stressed out about life.
Papa Fu has several hobbies that have kept him young over the years.
I like to fish. I like to go out boat and ride boat around. Yes, play harmonica. We had a club. We about 8 of us, and we all have harmonica, and then we play all the regular church songs.
With 101 years young, Papa Fu is still living strong. This is Kaden Keep from Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
We're back at Sacred Hearts Academy on Oahu, where students gather after school for our Cyber Patriot program. At the center of Cyber Patriot is the National Youth Cyber Defense Competition, which puts teams of high school and middle school students in the position of newly hired IT professionals, tasked with managing the network of a small company. Teams are given a set of virtual images that represent operating systems and are tasked with finding cybersecurity vulnerabilities. The competition lasts for 6 hours, and students practice for hundreds of hours to prepare for the Windows and Linux systems vulnerabilities. We now take you to upcountry Maui, where students from Kamehameha Schools Maui Middle School visit Kula Country Farms to learn about the challenges of running a local farm. How many people know all the work that goes into putting food onto our plates? Many of us take it for granted, but local farmers like Chauncey Mondin of Kula Country Farms knows exactly what it takes.
Basically, I'm a farmer of fresh fruits and vegetables and flowers. And what we do is we grow fresh produce for the state of Hawaii, and we ship some produce off island as well to Honolulu, Kauai, Big Island, and the U.S. mainland. Well, growing up, I'm a 3rd or 4th generation farmer, depending how you take it on the grandpa or grandma's side. And since we're babies, we're in the farm. We used to have a scout, and that was our crib.
Though the work is tough and at times very tiresome, Mr. Mondin always looks at his work positively.
What I love the most is planting, because when you plant, I like to say there's always hope. And there's always a fresh start when you put a new crop in the ground.
Throughout his many years of farming, Mr. Mondin has accomplished a great amount of things. However, he still looks at family as being number one.
I think my greatest accomplishment is just still being here as a farmer. Farming is really hard, so being here as a farmer and having my children interact in the farm and being able to raise them on the farm.
Though the job is rewarding, it doesn't come without its share of problems.
There's a tremendous amount of obstacles from weather, marketing, insects. There's always something. There's a lot of, I like to say, variables in farming that no matter how good a job you do, you know, taking care of your crop, something can pop up at any time and make it difficult.
Sometimes he goes on business trips to see how other people's farms look. Like recently he went to a blueberry farm in Oregon. He starts in the morning at around 6 o'clock and he comes home before dinner, which is like before 7.
Chauncey Mondin has one bit of advice for today's youth aspiring to be local farmers.
Don't let any obstacles stop you. You have to keep going. There's so much opportunities and so much in farming. There's different avenues and different venues that you can go into and grow different types of crops. And there's definitely a lot of opportunity. You need to have perseverance. You need to be able to pick up and say, you know, maybe that crop didn't work out, but we'll try again next year or we'll try again next month. And I think you just need to put your head down and have a very good work ethic and love what you do.
Being a farmer takes hard work, perseverance, and a love for the job. This is Arlie Coelho from Kamehameha Schools Maui for HIKI NŌ.
We are back at Sacred Hearts Academy on Oahu at the recently constructed Performing Arts Center, built in 2009 and dedicated to Mother Louise Henriette. The dance floor is specially designed with layers of wood and foam to help alleviate stress on dancers' joints. Approximately 250 students express themselves through ballet, dance technique, dance composition, yoga, and Hawaiian chanted dance.
Our choral program has over 90 singers in 4 curricular ensembles. In addition to learning musicianship skills, students perform choral music in a wide variety of styles in 8 European languages and 3 Asian languages. Throughout the school year, various choirs represent our school at local festivals and competitions, such as the Ho'olakahi, Hawaii's All-State Choral Festival.
Well, we've come to the end of this episode of HIKI NŌ.
Remember, all these stories were written, shot, and edited by students.
We hope you've enjoyed watching them
as much as we've enjoyed sharing them with you.
Make sure to tune in to next week's episode
for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI NŌ
can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.